Hi everybody, Mischa here with Word of the Day, and there it is. Provenance. What does this noun, provenance, mean? And a big shout out to Scooter for this word. Provenance means origin. Where did something come from? And it also means tracing where that object has been and who has been in possession of that object. So if we're talking about art, we're talking about manuscripts, we're talking about documents, we're talking about artifacts from archaeological digs. Where did it come from? Where's it been? Who owns it? Provenance is about ownership and about authenticity. You got to prove both. Now, where did it come from? Well, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, by 1628, this word provenance is floating around and in use in English, but this is what's called a ghost reference in dictionaries. They don't have anybody they can credit. They just know people were using the word. Most likely for trade, because there was a lot of trade between France and England, and when those big boxes and carts and whatever would the cargo would arrive in England, of course they would have labels on them with mercantile bureaucratic language on those labels in French saying, provenance of this merchandise is France. And you would see it on those labels. So that's probably how it came into English. So by the mid-1800s, it's all about art. It's in all the art catalogs of the museums, of the auction houses like Sotheby's, and that's pretty much the way we use it now. So, excuse me, I've really got allergies. Okay, so let me give you some examples of how to use that word now. Here we go. During the period between the early 30s and the end of World War II, it is estimated that the Nazis stole approximately 630,000 pieces of art from Jewish owners. Today, organizations like Interpol have groups of people that work specifically on finding art and establishing the provenance in order to return those pieces to the rightful owners. Excuse me. Or this. Oh, this is a good one. In 1987, there was a rare documents dealer who specialized in Mormon documents. His name was Mark Hoffman. But he ended up getting convicted of a whole bunch of stuff, including a double murder, to cover up the fact that he had actually fabricated all of these documents and created a provenance for each one. And as a result, they made a lot of improvements on how to establish provenance for these types of documents, and I guess they learned more about ink analysis. And finally, I got one for my family, all right? We actually have a necklace, a piece of jewelry in the family with a very interesting provenance. First of all, it's over 100 years old. It's a long string of 1920s crystals. And, the provenance is this. It originally belonged to my Aunt Nita, who was in Hollywood in the teens and the 20s and was very, very close friends, no kidding, with Valentino, Charlie Chaplin, the Fairbanks, Douglas Fairbanks, Mary Pickford. And she would go to Pickfair for parties all the time. She would wear this long crystal necklace. Now, if you want to read the story of that necklace, you can always go to MischaMartin.net. That's my website, Community Stories, and the story is there. The provenance is this. My Aunt Nita is the original owner. When she passed away, she left it to my grandmother. When my grandmother died, she left it to me. I ain't dead, but I'm not taking any chances. And so I have already given it to my beautiful niece, Bridgie, who's an actress. Okay, that is Provenance. And use it in the comments if you can, and I'll see you later. If you want to buy books, let's try to support independent booksellers, like I did when I bought this beauty. There you go. Dolly. Ooh, I love surrealism, and I got this one really cheap. Or I used to teach Dante's Inferno when I was a classroom teacher, and the kids loved Doré's engravings that he created for the Divine Comedy. I got this one also from an independent bookseller. So remember, when you buy books, go to bookshop.org/shop/word of the day, and I'll see you later.